and welcome back to my kitchen. I am the messy mom in the kitchen, and today we are going to make zucchini latkes. And this is just 5 ingredients and it's going to be delicious, but not leave you feeling as heavy as sometimes having the traditional potato pancakes can. I hope you've been enjoying many of the recipes that I've shared with you so far, so please be sure to subscribe so that you stay up to date on the new one. So, I have my food processor all set up, and you can use a box grater if you want that arm workout, but I'm all about convenience. So, I have my food processor set up. Always have to make sure you line it up and push it down. There you go. And we put the top on. Now, before getting on, I made sure to cut my zucchini so that it would fit right in nicely. So I have 2 zucchini, I'd say medium to medium large size. I cut off the ends after I wash them and cut them in half and then into, I'd say this is about 4 to 5 inch pieces. So I'm about to grate these, so it might get a little loud. But so much faster than a box grater. How fast was that? Also, I don't know about you, but when I use box graters, I often end up taking part of my nail, and sometimes with the kids, they'll grate their fingers. So yes, it is definitely a good skill to have and to practice, but if you're short on time, this is a great and convenient way. Now, I'm in a house of boys. I don't know about you, so every time I say this word, it gets some chuckles, but I am going to take my nut bag. If you don't have a nut bag, you can use a dish towel or paper towels, but zucchini hold a lot of water. So the first time I did this, I probably used up way too many paper towels. Not so good for the environment, so I prefer to do the nut bag. So, of course, I washed my hands before. So I'm going to fill my nut bag with the shredded zucchini. Then I'm going to take it over to the sink so that I can squeeze it out. So once I have finished doing this, I will take you over to the sink. So now I'm going to take my nut bag, I'm going to pull it nice and tight, and then I'm just going to start twisting. And squeeze. And it's pretty impressive how much liquid comes out of these. That's why I find it easier to do it right over the sink. So now we are going to take our zucchini that's been drained and we're going to measure out 2 cups. In the meantime, I also just cleaned out the top of this. You don't really need to rinse out the bottom because we're going to be using the same, everything's going to end up in the same place in the end. So there's no need to spend time doing that. Also, that'll end up getting you a lot more water in there, which you'll then need to drain out because we're going to do this with the zucchini. And then we're also going to do the same thing with the leeks. Although we're going to use sort of a ratio of 1 to 2. So we have an overflowing 1 cup and a 2nd cup. Now I am not going to put in all of this since it seems that it is more than 2 cups, but I'm going to save it and freeze it because I like to use it when I make zucchini muffins and it's already wrung out. So because the other one was overflowing, this one's a little less, and there we go. So now I'm going to go put this in another container so I can freeze it and save it for later, and then we'll be back to do the leeks. Now, if you've ever worked with leeks before, they can be pretty dirty. So I took 2 of them, I opened it up, I peeled off the top 2 layers and really rinsed out that dirt. and I'm just going to use these, which are now nice and clean. So again, I'm going to turn on my food processor and get started grating them. So now I'm going to take this off, and again, I am going to put my leeks in the bag so that I can drain it out. And I want to hopefully have 1 cup. So you can make these in the oven, or you can make them on stovetop in a griddle pan. I actually am so excited. I just got a new griddle pan. It has a pink handle, it's ceramic, and ceramic is great because it gives you that non-stick surface without the chemicals and stuff that come off of Teflon that you really don't want in your food. So I am preheating mine because one of the things with ceramic pans, at least the one that I have, you need to be patient. And I'm not always the most patient person. So I have it on low, that way it can heat up while we're mixing this. So I have my 2 cups of shredded zucchini, I have my 1 cup of leeks. And you know how I like to do my dry ingredients before my wet ingredients, that way I can use the same measuring spoon. So I have a tablespoon, and I'm gonna do 6 tablespoons of flax meal. You know, when you are making some kind of fritters or latkes, you really want something to bind and something that is breadcrumb-like. I have to count 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, you can use a liquid egg. I decided I wanted to try this Just Egg. I feel like last year in the Super Bowl commercial, the Super Bowl we watched, and there were like a million commercials for Just Egg. And while I've tried the ones that are already made, I wanted to try this one. So, here we go. And for this, whether you use liquid egg or a liquid egg substitute, you're going to do 12 tablespoons. This one, I really need to count because otherwise, it's going to be a little bit off. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and last one. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I happen to still have this measuring cup here, so I'm going to pour the salt over it. That way, if excess goes in, it doesn't end up in my ingredients. It just goes right here. All right, now we're going to grab a fork so that we can mix everything together. Now, if you have rings or things, jewelry on your hands, it can be helpful to take them off so that you can really use your hands as you're making these. Because what we're going to do in a moment is take about a handful, really squeeze it out, and then put it down. So I find that taking off my rings helps to not have the gunk that I then have to get out after, because that's no fun. Alrighty, looks like we're ready. Since this pan is brand new, it has been washed, but it's brand new, I am gonna put a teaspoon of olive oil on here. And again, this is on a medium to low heat because I don't want it to burn. One way that you can tell that your pan is hot enough is by heating it and then putting it on, and then if your oil starts to move right away, you can often tell. So again, I'm being patient. I just want to coat everything. All right. So, first one. Take a handful. Squeeze it out over. Because even though we squeezed out all the liquid before, there's still some liquid in here. And I don't want them too thick because I want them to fully cook. So here's my first one. And I think I'm gonna do 4 at a time. I did a pretty good job of squeezing out. Not too much is coming out. And you know, the flavoring is gonna be very simple. But you can top it with unsweetened applesauce. You can top it with Greek yogurt, or you can do sour cream. But lately, I know a lot of people have been using yogurt, either plain yogurt or unsweetened plain Greek yogurt as well, because that makes it more of a meal and filling. Also, there's a lot of benefits to having your protein and your vegetables together. And I'm just gonna cook this until it really starts to brown a little bit. If you want, you can bake these in the oven or in an air fryer. And then in a little bit, we're gonna flip them. So after 15 minutes, I flipped it and then did another 5 minutes. Your pan might be set hotter depending on the type of pan that you are using, but I hope that you'll let me know in the comments how yours come out. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy your zucchini pancakes.